Tom Terwilliger, the Achievement Mentor here, and my wife behind the camera. Hey, Dawn, how you doing?
Hello.
We're on our way to Boulder. Boulder is a really neat, eclectic place, but we're headed there for a very specific reason. We're going to see the premiere of a new movie. You might say it's a personal development and growth movie. It's about Joseph Campbell, who I believe, and again, I don't know that much about Joseph Campbell, but what I do know about him is that he's a prolific, or was a prolific author from several years ago, and sort of really got the whole concept of the hero's journey encapsulated. The hero's journey, that so many personal development trainers use, and artists, writers. For example, movie producers like Steven Spielberg and several others have used the concept that Joseph Campbell wrote about in many of his books. And movies like Star Wars are the epic journey of that hero that Joseph Campbell wrote about. So we're going to get an opportunity to see this movie for the first time as it premieres here in Boulder, Colorado. And we're going to let you know about it, because I'm sure if it's any good, and we'll let you know if it's good or not, it's going to spread very, very quickly, particularly in the business and personal growth community. So, again, we'll keep you updated as we get closer, and then after the movie, we'll let you know what it's like, or what it was like. By the way, it's called Finding Joe. So stay with us. So here we are, we're in the Boulder Theater, which is one of those theaters. It's like, there's not that many of them left in the country. It's one of those independently operated theaters that you used to see back in the 50s. In fact, I'm sure this theater was built somewhere around the 40s or 50s. So take a look around this place. It's really interesting. One screen, certainly some artwork, eclectic artwork, an amazingly high ceiling, Art Deco type stuff going on, and it actually has a bar in it, or you can go up, order a beer or a cocktail or a drink or even a little bite to eat, sit at a table, and enjoy your movie. Really cool stuff. But again, this is one of those theaters, you don't see a lot of them across the country. It's the kind of theater where a movie like this, Finding Joe, would definitely premiere. We're really privileged to get an opportunity to see this movie and see it for the first time. And again, let you know what it's all about, if it's worth seeing, if it's educational, or best, if it's at least a little bit of fun. Stay with us. We'll give you an update after the movie and let you know where you can go see it, perhaps over the next month when it opens up everywhere.
The most important thing that myths teach us is to go beyond the limits of our possibility.
Joseph Campbell was one of the leading mythology experts of all time.
He diagrammed all of our stories.
We find this one story within all the stories that we can relate to no matter where you come from.
And he called it the hero's journey.
All the heroes, all the villains, they're all in there. They're all in here. This is where they come from.
In other words, we're not separate from the characters we see in our movies and in our novels. They are us. It's one journey. If this path of the hero's journey is fairly simple, why then is it that everybody isn't living it?
It's very difficult for a person with the media, with advertising. There's no creativity.
You end up on that treadmill and you can't get off.
We are each our own greatest inhibitors. The one thing that keeps people small is their fears, or as Campbell says, it's their dragons. It's a beast, it's a monster. I'll never forget seeing the red monster.
And we just left the theater, the Boulder Theater. In fact, we're still here after the preview, really the first time the movie has been seen by a large live audience, and it was a large audience. It was a great privilege right now speaking with its producer, director, really the creator of this film. And I got to tell you, it's truly an honor to be here with him. This is Pat Sullivan. Pat, Thanks so much for spending a little bit of time with us.
Thanks for coming. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. We were excited. We kind of went to the movie, and we were told about it by a friend. And we went with very little expectation and no preconceived ideas or notions. Of course, we're familiar with Joseph Campbell's work, which is the primary essence of the movie, based on his work. But maybe we could share a couple of things in terms of, number one, what was the catalyst? What was the driving force that really motivated you to produce this movie, get this out? Because we know it takes a lot of work and effort to make something like this happen.
That's a good question. The short answer is that it just kind of was coming out of me. Like I really felt it was an inexplicable need to tell the story. I've been thinking about it for years. Also, as I said in the question and answer, after there was a moment where both of my parents passed away, very close together. I'm still kind of dealing with how that fit into the puzzle. You know, I don't think about it too much. Probably think about that a little more, but something happened in there, and this story just started coming out of me. And I said, okay, I'm going to make this movie now. So I did.
So what was the expectation for yourself? We came to the movie as a clean slate, no expectations really whatsoever, with a fascination about Campbell's work, and we had no idea where this was going to go. I mean, what was the fascination for you about Campbell's work and delivering this message in the context that you did?
You know, I think that with Campbell's work, I hear it all the time, and I hear it from what you're saying. With Campbell's work, people say this. You know, I read one of Campbell's books and it changed my life. Or I live my life according to some of the ideas that I found in his work. And so the same was true for me. You know, I wanted to. I was affected in the same way that everyone else was affected. I read his book, and I adopted a lot of his principles. When I have crisis, I kind of go back and go back. And so part of it was I wanted to share that experience, get to know Campbell's life.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there that aren't familiar with the hero's journey, the hero which he faces, and much of his work in terms of how he delivered that, and how much it actually impacted our society today. Most people don't realize that movies like Star Wars was based on Campbell's work. Its essence is Campbell's work. That's the hero's journey. So let me ask you this, though, and this will be my last question, but it's just a little bit more fun. In terms of that hero's journey itself, what does the making of this film represent in your life, your personal career, and your personal journey? And I assume a lot of people are going to see you as a hero just for bringing this work to the public. What does this mean to you? What is it all about for you?
You know, it's just a transformation in my career. And you know, so I went from commercial director to filmmaker during this process.
Wow. So this is the next step. Is there any going back? I mean, you know, in the hero's journey, you know, there's always the challenges and meeting and defeating your dragon, and then you go back. Is there any going back for you to a commercial, what you were doing prior to this event?
Yes, I'd probably bring different energy to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll do that for sure again. But really, that's not how I view myself.
Well, I think that's truly the hero's journey. We take a step forward. It's challenging. Sometimes we're reluctant. In fact, we're almost always reluctant in many respects. But we get that call. We answer the call. We never go back to where we were before. The same person. So, Patrick Sullivan, thank you so much, man, for making the movie, and thanks for spending the time with us. There you go. That's the wind-up. And here's the verdict. Great movie. Well done. Paced very nicely. There were some incredible metaphors in the movie using young kids at about the age when we started developing those old blueprints, those old patterns, those old beliefs that stop us from moving forward, from taking our own hero's journey, because that's what Joseph Campbell's work was all about. That's what this movie, in essence, is all about. It even transcends Campbell's work. But for all of us, it's about answering that call and having the courage to step forward and find that path and take that leap to what's really next for us, instead of settling for what we've gotten comfortable with. We're more than that. You're more than that. I hope you enjoyed the interview we had with Patrick, because I tell you something, watching the movie was incredibly joyful and inspiring, but also talking with its producer, who was equally inspiring, and I hope you got some of that as well. So this is about the journey. It's about the leap. And Campbell's work is about that hero's journey. It's time for you to answer the call and step forward and find that bliss in your life, to take that leap of faith. The process is there for you. The process is there on our website. It's all about the experience, the leap process, about connecting with your body. It's about being brutally honest with yourself. And it's about overcoming that dragon and taking that giant leap forward in your life. I highly recommend the movie. I think it's going to be huge, and I think it's going to reach and impact a lot of people, and I hope you'll be one of them. Tom Terwilliger, the Experience the Leap Coach and the Achievement Mentor, and I hope to see you next time.